There's a brilliant book I recommend. It's called The Shariah of the Islamic Jihadi, and you should read it immediately. It's written by Dan Millman, the very famous personal development author who also wrote The Laws of Spirit, but he wrote this book called The Shariah of the Islamic Jihadi. Of course, in English, it would be called The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. What I want to point out here is about language. The way, the path. Literally, the word Shariah means the way or the path. It comes from the word Shariah, derived from it, which means literally the road, right? So the Shariah is the way, the path. Of the peaceful warrior. Peaceful, you could translate that as Islamic, right? Islamic is an anglicized version of the word, but Islamic literally means to be surrendered and at peace, right? And then warrior, you could easily translate that as jihadi. But notice how, to the English-speaking mind, the Sharia of the Islamic Jihadi just sounds like it's got terrorism written all over it, right? But the way of the peaceful warrior, this beautiful book, actually a really good book written by Dan Millman. It's about this wise sage called, I think his name was Socrates, and he's teaching a young man who's in athletics. It's actually a really great metaphor, a great parable, and a wonderful story. It's worth everybody reading. But that's really the essence of what I want to say here is, be careful of language and how it's used in the media. Sharia sounds like a really bad, scary thing that oppresses women. It's not, and it doesn't. Jihad sounds like a really bad, scary thing where you're going to kill innocent people. That's not what it means at all. It literally means the struggle to do the right thing, even when it's the hardest thing in the world to do. And Islamic, that used to be a good thing, right? That used to be a good thing. You know, there's an old, I was on, I think, Sky News once after some terrorist attack, and I said, look, these people, they're not Islamic extremists, right? Terrorists are not Islamic extremists. If I say I'm an extreme vegetarian, I'm such an extreme vegetarian that I'm going to eat 100 Big Macs. Does that really make me an extreme vegetarian? I mean, the very thing that I'm doing goes completely against the thing that I'm saying I am. That's not an extreme vegetarian, that's a bad vegetarian, that's a non-vegetarian. In the same way, there's no such thing as Islamic terrorism. That's a complete contradiction in terms. You can't have peacefully surrendered terrorism. It doesn't make sense. So the reason I'm sharing this with you is it's important. Now, people who are born Muslim and who are raised within the Islamic tradition know that Sharia is a completely normal thing. It teaches you how to fast and pray. And we know that jihad is something that if it's physically combative, it can only be done in a certain time and place. And if it's spiritual, it must be done in all times and all places. Constantly, we're fighting against the ego. And we know that Islam is an intrinsically good thing, right? It brings us all of these beautiful teachings. But people in the West, because we're unfamiliar with these terms, we get confused. We can get confused by them. And, you know, there have even been mentions, very uninformed mentions by people in the British government saying that anybody who's uses the word jihad might get in trouble. It's like, well, I'm going to use it. And honestly, I'm going to use it so much. I want it to be so well understood that it's actually a spiritual concept. There's a chapter in my book, Inside the Soul of Islam, and it's called Jihad, the universal human value. Because actually, every human being really, in their heart, believes in jihad. We all believe that it is an intrinsically noble thing to give your life and to struggle to do what's right and to try and protect innocent people if we can. And that's the essence of jihad. So, as I've said in the previous video, yep, I'm a jihadi, and that shouldn't be a scary thing if it's taken to mean what it truly means in the religion of Islam, which is you're going to struggle. You know what jihad is? Jihad is struggling to not eat chocolate cookies if you're trying to be on a diet and lose weight. It's the struggle to maintain, to fast and not complain about the fact that you're hungry and thirsty, right? Any peaceful protest is jihad. Jihad can take many forms, but in essence, it's the struggle to do the right thing, even when it's the hardest thing to do. So I hope this video has been of benefit to you. If you want to know more, if you want to go deeper into what I've been sharing with you, check out the book Inside the Soul of Islam. If you want more teachings from me directly and you want the path to connect more deeply with Allah, become your best self and enhance and transform all of your relationships, then go to my website, mamoonyoussef.com, and check out the masterclass that's free for everyone. And if you want another daily spiritual download, check out the next video. It's coming up soon. Till then, may the peace, love, and blessings of Allah be with you always.